Hello friends, in this video we are going to see about what is intermittent fasting, what are its advantages, what are its disadvantages, who can follow it, who shouldn't follow it, what is its mechanism, how can you start intermittent fasting in your life, what do I practice in my life. We are going to see about all those things in this video. This video is quite lengthy one, but the timestamps have been added in the video description. So if you feel the video is quite lengthy, you can specifically go and click the timestamps and you can watch that particular part of the video alone to save your time. So let's see about what is intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting means not eating something for a specific duration of time. There are different types of fasting. So we will see like what is not eating for how long. We will see all those things in the text. So fasting is not a new thing for our Indian culture. As we know, like in all the religions, fasting have been advised. Like in Hindu religion, we call it vratam, which means like we follow vratam for different days like Saturday, Friday, Ekadasi, Shashti. There are different kinds of vratam in Hindu religion. In Christianity also there is called Friday fast. During Lent also they fast. In Islam they fast for Ramzan. In Buddhist also they never eat anything after sunset and before sunrise. So they eat only between sunrise and sunset. And also they have different kinds of fasting also. So even in Jainism and other religions also they have fasting. So this is not a new concept at all. But um, but later when researchers happened toward fasting and the celebrities from the Western world accepted the intermittent fasting, then it became famous. In 2014, Yoshinori Yoshimi received a Nobel Prize for finding the concept called autophagy. Autophagy is nothing but when you starve the yeast cells, there is something called autophagosomes which get activated in them, which feed over the old cell organelles. And they have said that this can even stop the cancer, this can even prevent us from aging, this can cure a variety of diseases like diabetes, hypertension, cardiac diseases. So this process of autophagy happens mainly during the fasting state is what they have found out. So then only the Western world realized that initially they were telling fasting is harmful for health, it may cause ulcers, it may cause increase the severity of diabetes, it is really harmful, no one should fast. And after all these concepts and all these researches only they accepted that fasting is really good. So okay, then what are the different types of intermittent fastings? So usually what we know is something called time restricted feeding, which means you follow restricted feeding for different time patterns like 16 is to 8 or 20 is to 4 or 10 is to 14 or 12 is to 4, 12 is 12. In 16 is to 8, you fast for 16 hours and you eat in the rest 18 hours, 8 hours. So in 10 is to 14, you fast for 14 hours and you feed only during the 10 hours. So this is called time restricted feeding. The most commonly followed is 16 is to 8. There is something called alternate feeding in which uh, you fast on the alternate days, like you eat for the one day without any restriction, then the next day you fast for the 24 hours completely. That is called complete alternate day feeding. So you can instead of fasting you can decrease the calorie content, you can decrease the amount of food you are eating to 25% of the normal thing. This is called modified alternate day fasting. You can follow all this. And there is something called periodic fasting, in which like for example you can fast for 2 days in a week and you can eat normally for 5 days in a week. In those 2 days also you can either follow time restricted feeding pattern like 16 is to 8 or 10 is to 4, or else you can follow in those 2 days or 1 days you can follow like 24 hours fasting also. That's up to us. So how does this process of intermittent fasting work? We have seen that autophagy is mainly happens during fasting state, one thing, and one more thing is a simple concept like when you eat, the glucose will be there in the blood for 4 hours. So whatever the activity you do, the energy for that activity comes from that glucose. So after that, for the next 12 to 18 hours, if you don't eat anything, the energy is going to come from something called glycogen. So that glycogen is the storage form of glucose which is stored in the liver. So that will be utilized. So if you don't eat anything beyond that period of time, then the stored fat is going to act as something called fuel, something as which gives energy to the body. So that is the time the fat starts burning and you start actually losing weight by burning your fat. So if you fast beyond more than your capacity, then ultimately the proteins will get degraded which is a harmful state for your body, which you should never practice, which you should not starve your body for too long time. So who can fast? There is no restrictions on who can fast. Almost anyone can fast. It is beneficial for everyone. So who is it? Who are the target audiences for whom it is extremely beneficial? For those who are suffering from any diet-related diseases like obesity, overweight, diabetes mellitus, cardiovascular diseases, dyslipidemia or high cholesterol levels, hypertension or increased BP, including metabolic syndrome, inflammation, chronic pain, even mood disorders, anxiety, depression, all those things, eating disorders, polycystic ovarian disease or PCOD, fatty liver, even intermittent fasting have been proved beneficial for cancer patients. The researchers are still at the entry level only. So for whom they should not follow intermittent fasting? Pregnant ladies should never follow this. Lactating women also it's not advisable. So diabetes patients, unless with the guidance of the expert people, you should never follow this on your own. You should not trial with your disease. Bodybuilders, they have a specific diet pattern. They work out a lot. They have different kind of appetites, so it's not advisable for them also. Children, they don't need intermittent fasting. Elderly people also, elderly people and underweight people without proper suggestions and guidance, it's not advisable for them also. So what are the advantages of uh, doing intermittent fasting, practicing intermittent fasting? As we have seen, uh, it it promotes autophagy, and also for those people who are suffering from diet related diseases, which we have mentioned earlier, for all those things, it helps in a lot of way. It helps them to reverse the disease also. So simply it decreases the amount of insulin produced. If you don't eat, insulin is not going to produce. So fat is going to act as a fuel for your body. So you're ultimately going to burn some calories and lose some weight. And also the growth hormone levels in your body is going to be 5 times higher during the fasting state. So it has various other benefits like increasing your metabolism and increasing your growth and all those things. And cellular lipid process is also enhanced. It has also shown that the lifespan is also increased by practicing fasting. So only proven scientific method to increase the lifespan is calorie restriction, which actually happens through fasting. And also, um, as we have mentioned, like even in diabetes patients, it can reduce the amount of advanced glycation in products that is produced, and it can reduce the oxidative stress in them. So even for type 2 diabetes mellitus patients, it is beneficial. So what are the disadvantages? For some of them, initially, in the first few days, it may be difficult to practice. Some of them during the fasting time, they may be obsessed food. It will be difficult for them to follow. So for those people, it's not actually exactly necessary to follow them. They can discontinue at that time. So these are not exactly disadvantages. These are the initial stage of difficulties which you face during the intermittent fasting. So what are the side effects? So initially you may feel like little tired, fatigue, you may feel like headache, you may feel like extremely hungry or irritable, or you may not be able to concentrate, or you may not be able to think. So at such times this is not exactly like a side effect. If you start eating within like 24 hours, more than 24 hours is maximum time, within like next few hours you will be out of these symptoms. During the initial stages only you will feel those things depending on your body state. So some of them may not feel also. So some of them may be suffering from serious medical illness. They may be eating some drugs which may be increasing their appetite, which may be boosting their metabolism. Their body won't be functioning like a normal person. So for such persons, no need to actually follow intermittent fasting without proper guidance. So what are the foods that are allowed during fasting time? Like for example, in the 16 hours of fasting, actually ideally speaking, nothing is allowed. Like in the 16 hours, you should drink only water, nothing other than water. But if you feel extremely hungry, if you want to eat your food, you can break the fast and you can eat. If you don't want to eat fat, at least even though I don't get the 100% benefit, at least I want to get 50% benefit. If you ask me, I would like to say you can eat fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables also, you should not make the fruits and vegetables into a drinks, fruit juice. You should not make all those things, mix those sugar, adding all those things. No other flavors, not cooking the vegetables and all. If you want to eat fruits and vegetables, say you to eat raw, nothing more than that. You can eat a little amount of soaked groundnut without adding anything, not boiling, nothing. you can eat lemon juice with water and honey alone, not adding anything else. You can have these things, but it won't be as beneficial as complete fasting. Now, how much fruits and vegetables to eat? You can eat as much you want. Actually, this is not actually beneficial. It is actually going to raise your insulin levels only. But since these foods get digested so fast and they are also energetic, it has some benefits instead of eating something, instead of eating carbohydrate foods and all those normal foods. So, what are the foods? What is the ideal food that can be eaten during the fasting time? So, if you eat foods rich in carbohydrates, it's going to cause you frequent hunger. It is going to make you crave for food. So, it's ideal to eat less carbohydrates or complex carbohydrates, high protein diet, high fat diets, foods that are rich in fiber, especially fruits and vegetables. They are also rich in antioxidants. So, if you eat that kind of food, that will be beneficial. So how many times you can eat between this fasting period? For example, if you are fast during the eating period. So for example, if you are fasting for 16 is to 8, during that 8 hours, I would suggest you can eat for 2 times, because in our yogi culture it is said that there should be a minimum difference or gap of at least 8 hours between 2 meals. So it is ideal. If you can follow that, you can follow that. If it is really difficult for you to eat like 2 times in a day during that 8 hours period, you can fill it up with some snacks like fruits and vegetables or some sprouts and nothing more that. But even if you feel that is also difficult, you can eat 3 times maximum, like light dinner, light kind of foods, not heavy things. You should not feast during this hours. It's of no use. If you feast during this feasting time, then it is of no use at all. You should control the amount of calories you are eating during that time also. So, for example, if you are following the 10 is to 14 pattern, for some people it will be really difficult to eat 2 times during that 10 is to 14 pattern. So you can eat 3 times also. But what is the Tamil poem says about this? The Siddhargal Padal. ஒருபோது யோகியே ஒன்றலிருக்கை மாதே இருபோது போகியே என்பான் திரிபோது ரோகியே நான்கு போது உண்பான் உடல் விட்டு போகியே என்று புகழ் உண்பான். What does this mean? ஒருபோது yogi means one who eats 1 time a day is a yogi. One who eats 2 times a day is a bogi, which means bogi means he is involved in the worldly pleasures like food, money, and all those things. If you have extreme, if you are so much sophisticated, then ultimately your concentration is going to go on food. That's why he is eating 2 times, is what this line means. Tiripodu unban rogiye, which means if you are eating 3 times in a day, either you are going to become diseased so soon or you are already diseased. That's why you are eating 3 times in a day, is what this means. நான்கு போது உண்பான் உடல் விட்டு போகியே, which means if you are eating 4 times in a day, then the soul is going to leave your body so soon, is what they are saying. So ultimately, if you are eating for 1 times a day, then you are yogi. So it's not advisable to eat many times, because if you eat frequently, the insulins are going to spike a lot. So even during this feasting time, or even if it is like 4 hours also, like 8 hours also, you should not eat 5 times. Even if you are eating one bhaji alone, like you have eaten 2 times a meal and you have eaten 1 bhaji alone, that is also going to cause some insulin spike. If you are eating 1 bhaji every 1 hourly, even though the entire calorie is very much less, but the amount of insulin spikes that will be caused will be like 8 times. So that is really harmful. You should not eat frequently. So as far as possible, try to eat the number of times, try to make the number of times you are eating as less as possible. So how many days once you can follow this kind of intermittent fasting? So if you have if you are very well accustomed with 16 is to 18 pattern or 10 is to 14 pattern, you can follow almost every day. If you feel like having a break, you can follow like 6 days in a week and 1 day break. If you don't follow that also, it's fine. It's up to you, like whatever the way you want. Like if I want to follow the 16 is to 8 pattern 2 times in a week, that also you can follow. So the maximum limitation for 16 is to 8 or 10 is to 14, there is no limitation. You can follow almost 365 days in a day. So there are no side effects at all. But if you're fasting for 24 hours, it depends on your capacity. You can fast for like once in a week, twice in a week, monthly once, 2 times a week, everything depends on you. So if you are very well accustomed, you can do for 2 times a week in the initial period. So what is the meal that can be skipped during intermittent fasting? We usually advise to skip breakfast because if we ate in the night, then we are going to sleep. So during sleep, we are getting like around 8 hours. Then after that, we are getting, another 8 hours will be easy. So we won't be thinking much about food during that 8 hours. But if you eat during the breakfast and you give 16 hours break the next between the next meal, like if you skip the lunch and if you eat the dinner, you will be having a lot of work. You will be awake during the entire day, so you will be constantly thinking about food. So that thing will be a hurdle for you to follow the practice. That's why we usually don't advise. But if you can follow, like I want to eat the breakfast and the lunch and I want to skip the dinner, that also you can follow. That's It's completely up to you to skip which part of the meal. There is no specific restriction. If you want to eat breakfast and lunch and want to skip the dinner, that is also completely fine. It's up to you. So, what are the myths regarding intermittent fasting? Like, people say that I will become unhealthy, I may get ulcer, I may get diabetes mellitus, I won't get enough nutrition by following intermittent fasting. For all these questions, for those who are saying that I will get ulcer or I won't get enough nutrition during this period, I have already, sorry, I will get frequently hungry. For this, already I have put a video about hunger and ulcer, relation between fasting and ulcer in the previous video. You can check that video. So if you're feeling that if you won't get enough nutrition, it's completely depends on our choice what kind of food you are choosing to eat. It's not like because of fasting you're going to become nutritionally deficient. You should eat that kind of food which can fill up the nutritional gaps. So, and intermittent fasting is nothing like making you feeling hungry, nothing like making you starving. There is difference between starving and fasting. Intermittent fasting or fasting is not at all starving. Naturally, if you observe in your body, even during fever or some other like body illnesses, you won't feel like eating, but your body will be processing in a normal way. That's because your body actually wants to for it doesn't want you to eat and give some extra burden to the body. So in the natural way also, if you observe your body, you will feel like every 15 days or every once in a month or once in 45 days, you will feel that your body actually doesn't need any food. Your body, you will feel that you don't feel like eating anything. So making use of the natural mechanism is what is called fasting, and it is nothing like pushing you towards starvation, or it's nothing like making you control your hungry, make you uh, like force you from eating. It's nothing like forcing. Like for example, if you take animals, they don't have specific time to eat. They don't think about the amount to eat, but they are not suffering from any ulcer and any kind of disease. That's what the natural mechanism is. So you should make use of the natural mechanism always as far as possible. And apart from that, also when you are fasting, only your brain activates, brain functions in the maximum potential, and apart from that, also it gives the body to purify itself. And if your stomach is empty, like if you are feeling hungry, then all the natural energy forces this body tries to utilize, like even from the energy from the air, from the sunlight, from the cosmos, it is maximum utilized. And also like certain hormones like hunger hormones like ghrelin are secreted, which actually activate the brain, which improves the memory, concentration, and all those things. So what are the things that should be kept in mind while doing intermittent fasting? So one thing is, if you are feeling frequently hungry, there is no rigid rule. You can always break it. It is nothing like because of excessive work you had that day, excessive stress you had that day, you may feel hungry. So if you are not feeling to fast, you can always break it. And you have planned to fast on Saturday, but your mother cooks your favorite food on that breakfast day. So if you are feeling, if you are thinking about the breakfast throughout the day, you are worrying that I will miss my favorite dish during the day, then there is no compulsion at all. You can eat on that day. There are like 7 days in a week and 30 days in a month. They are going to come. So if you are not fasting in the day, you can fast the next day. So that is also not a problem. If you're obsessed with food, if you have a lot of food items in front of you and you can't control your temptations and all, then you can always break the fasting, and there is no rigid rule. So when to stop? If you are feeling doubtful that whether I will be able to follow, then you can stop. If you are feeling like little tired, I don't want to fast much, if your mind plays all these games, then you can always stop. Then you are becoming obsessed with food. You are watching your time, like I have planned to fast till 10 o'clock, but you are started looking at your watch from 9 o'clock and you are seeing like every 5 minutes you are seeing your watch. When is this clock going to hit 12 o'clock? Then if you are so much obsessed about food, then there is no need to fast. There is use of fasting also. Then you can eat at that time. It's not a compulsion at all. So the Tirukkural says, "Marandane vendavam yakekku arundiyadu attrathu potri unil," which means this body needs no medicine at all. If you eat after your food has digested. So if once you know that your food which you have eaten previously has digested and you eat the next meal after the previous food being completely digested, then this body is not going to get any disease at all and there is no need for any medication is what this Tirukkural means. So if you ask me what is the action plan for you specifically, how can I start? Then I would like to say start it step by step. First analyze what is the normal fasting hours, what is the maximum fasting hours that is in your day-to-day life. For example, if you have eaten the previous day dinner by 10 o'clock and the next morning 6 o'clock you started drinking a coffee, then the break is barely between 8 hours. So initially you found out that you are having only a fasting interval of 8 hours, then you can try to improve it by 10 hours, like finishing your dinner before 10, like before you can eat your dinner at 8 o'clock itself. So 8 to 6 you will get a duration of about 10 hours. So that's a good thing. Then you can later skip your morning coffee or tea. Then it becomes 8 to next morning 8 o'clock. So it becomes 12 hours. So if you are very well, so if you are so confident that you can practice this 12 hours, then you can push a little bit also. The previous day you can eat the dinner at 7 o'clock and the morning breakfast is 9 o'clock. Then this will give a good pattern of 14 hours break. Then this will be a very nice thing which you can follow throughout your life. Also, if you can't follow that, you can follow 12 hours also, you can follow. If you want to feel like falling, if you want to practice some 16 hours or 14 hours once in a week or once in a month, then it's up to you alone. So once in a month alone, you can skip one meal in the morning and you can fast for 16 is to 8. That pattern also you can follow. It's completely up to you. But um, for 24 hours fasting also, there are different kinds of fasting. You can drink water alone, you can eat foods alone. There are different kinds of fasting in 24 hours fasting also. So you can have a mix match of both the things also, or else you can follow any one of them also. You can follow you can avoid the intermittent fasting that 16 is to 8, 10 is to 14 pattern, and you can follow like 24 hours fasting alone, like once in a week or once in a month. That alone also you can practice, or both the mix also you can practice. So what is the thing that I am following? Right now I am in home. If I say that I am not going to eat anything for the 24 hours, then I am not going to stay in my home, then my mother will throw me out of my house. So what is the thing I am following? Usually my dinner, usually I finish it before 8. So the morning breakfast, it never happens before 8 at all. Usually like 9 and 10. So if you see that, like minimal fasting period of 12 to 14 hours will be there in every day of my life. So not less than 12 hours in any day of my life. So like 12 to 14 hours, that is a normal intermittent fasting that is happening every day in my life. So apart from that also, I skip the breakfast on Tuesdays and Fridays. So in those days, like if I finished eating the dinner at 8 o'clock, the next day I will be eating like 12, 1 or 2. So there will be a gap of like 16 to 18 hours. So I will be fasting, intermittent fasting of like 10 to 14 hours, sorry, 12 to 14 hours gap for almost every days in the year, and 16 is to 8, that kind of intermittent fasting for twice in a week. So it's up to you to try whichever methods you want, but the ultimate thing will be like I have already, as I have previously mentioned, Oru Podu Unvan Yogi, which means you should eat one time in a day to become a yogi. If you ask me how can I practice that, if you are really in a state to grasp that thing, so if you are really in a state of practicing eating one time in a day, you wouldn't ask anybody how to eat once in a day. You would not refer any videos like this or any articles from the web to know how to eat for one times in a day, because how many times would you have eaten till now? Means you would have eaten thousands of times till now. So if you do a work for 10 times, you will do it in a better way than doing it for the first time. If you do a work for 100 times, then it will be much better. But if you do a work for 1,000 times, then you should become a master of it. But if you have eaten for thousands of times, then ultimately we should have already become a master of that. But still, if you have not become a master of that, means we are not actually concentrating on food. So if you start concentrating on food, if you start practicing on all those things, then you ultimately realize your body actually needs only once a meal in the entire day. So if you actually realize that, then there is no need to ask someone to know what is that. If you concentrate on your body, it is going to reveal all those secrets to you. So what is the much more ultimate thing than that? It will be like not eating anything throughout your life. That will be the ultimate thing. Like Prahlad Jani, who has not eaten anything for the many years. So you need not obsess yourself with much things. Things will reveal yourself, reveal itself to you, like in when you master each and every steps in these things. So whatever the things that is possible for you during the initial periods of time, you can start practicing those things. So I feel that this video will be useful for you, although it's quite lengthy. I will see you in one another useful video like this. Until then, it's Aravind signing off. Bye.